Yeah, I was saying to you off air how when we met at that time, 2009, I stumbled. Me, I'm a drinker, so
Yeah,
I had to go to the bar right away when I got to Portland. I believe it was. It was Portland, I think.
yeah, yep. It was Portland.
And yeah, as soon as I got to the bar and I sat down next to you, and we got to chat. And I'm a talker, so
Yeah.
I make friends wherever I go.
Uh,
So
uh-huh.
we got to chatting and talking, and that trip changed a lot for me. It took
Yeah.
me. I met people that I'm still lifelong friends with, like B Styles and Octavius, and
Right.
um,
Right. Yeah.
did, I don't know if you're still in contact with Octavius, or could you tell
Yeah.
us a good
I
story?
usually talk to him like if it's online or anything. I haven't spoke to him in a minute, but I just ran through his. I know he's doing the new West Coast Hip Hop Awards again in LA this year. So I
Yeah,
might chime in with him and see what's going on with that. He does it every year. It's like an annual thing. Every year he does it in a different place. I did another one. I went to another one a few years back, the one he did in Oakland, because it was close by. But he's been to Phoenix, Seattle. He's been everywhere with it on the West Coast, and that's a great opportunity for other artists. I like what he represents and does that because it shows that look, you can't if you can't get a Grammy or award this way on the major level, we can present it to you because we represent the West Coast. Here's your award for all the efforts you've done. Because so when I see people like Spice One get one, he deserved it. I've seen a lot of them where a lot of underground artists, cocaine. A lot of these people deserve some type of award for all the stuff that they've done. You know what I'm saying? Here on the West Coast, we don't get these awards, so it's very good that it's someone that looks out and says, you know what, we'll do our own, create something where we give out awards to our forefathers of hip hop that represented our coast. So that's a great thing.
yeah. Because back then in 2009, I was like a mixtape DJ, so I was doing what Khaled did before Khaled was doing it. Like,
Right, right.
so I was taking somebody's verse and sticking it on a different person's verse and putting that song and sending that together to somebody and just mixing it because I never rapped. I just bought the studio
Right.
time and I put everybody's songs together. So
Exactly.
I was back at those awards. I was like, well, I won mixtape DJ of the year in '09.
Yeah.
That was in Portland. The
Right. Yeah.
following
Yeah.
the following year was in San Francisco, like you were saying, and it got shut down, and it uh, ended up being a barbecue type event in Oakland. And then I
Wow.
actually just went to the one again this year in Seattle. So
Okay.
I'd be all over.
Wow.
I still be attending
Yeah.
that.
And I remember, when I actually contacted you some years back and I said, hey, you still doing your music thing and whatever. And you were like, not right now, kind of just chilling right now. I don't know. I might get back with it. Because you remember when I chimed in with you years back and I asked you,
Yeah,
were you still active doing things? And you were just kind of like, not right now, you just kind of give it a break. That's.
that's what it was basically. I was doing mixtapes till about 2013, 2014, and then I kind of just I had a girlfriend at the time, so that took all my time away.
Yeah, right, right,
So that took
right,
all my
right.
time away, and I stepped back from the music. And then when COVID hit, I'm like, I know all these connections, and like I've been
Yeah.
doing this for years. Like, why not just do something simple like this that we can talk to each other during COVID? Now I've
Right.
got
Yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for that. I mean, it opened a lot of doors for a podcast during COVID because it made people have this creative, like, hey, I can do this. We can
yeah,
still talk with people. And they don't have to be here in your home, around you or not. So you can still get it done. Oh, another thing. Remember that track that you put me on back in maybe 2009, 2010?
yeah,
It was like with 25 other MCs on there. I
yeah.
remember.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
yeah. You were on my 8 bar Cypha.
yeah, I remember you asked me to get a verse on there, and I did
Yeah.
it. I remember I heard it maybe once or twice, but I haven't heard it since.
Okay, I got that somewhere for you.
I'm on my A game, same letter got in my business class. Rappers don't know me, but soon will after I destroy their ass. That's me humbly speaking, off no weed and drink. And I ain't gotta act hard, that's why they make guns and shakes. I'm in the lab while others rushing to award shows, trying to get attention of rappers. Can I get a photo? Sound like a sissy, I'm E-Ray-C. Nigga, what? From Richmond, Cali to Vancouver. Stand up.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, I gotta find the actual MP3, but I definitely can find the link. I put it on YouTube back in the day, and it's still there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that one actually was crazy. I had that was all because somebody pissed me off. I had
Oh, for real?
I had a Vancouver guy tell me that this beat sucked and that that nobody
Oh,
was gonna want on that track. So
oh, that,
I went and got 28 people on that
yeah,
track.
right, exactly. That's how you do it. That's how you
And
do it. And nobody
yeah,
had a problem with it. They all rapped on it. So, yeah.
and that's just it too. That's what happened with the podcast too. It's like I was trying to do it with my friends, and they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna go anywhere. You're not gonna. It's gonna suck. I don't want to do interviews." I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna
Right.
take this and run. And now look, 570 episodes and all big name people. So
Exactly. And that's one thing that stood out to me because I'm like, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, I see quality artists and people on here. You not it's a basically it's more of a sports podcast, but you do put artists on here. That's what I got from it. And a
yeah,
lot of these people that you put on there, I'm like, wow, these are very interesting. Things like people will actually look at. It's not just one dimensional. You know what I mean? It's like you and then you had the guy from the WWF on there. I was like, whoa, that was dope because it's just like it makes you want to look because I haven't looked at all of them because I kind of wanted to stay away. I wanted to do when you told me you were going to do mine. I was like,
yeah,
okay, well, let me kind of I want to just do mine naturally and then I'll go back and look at theirs so that way I won't take from there because actually I chimed in on Spice One and he said one thing that I would have said on this interview. And I said, oh man, I said maybe let me just wait and then I'll look at the ones once I'm finished with mine.
yeah, yeah. That's for sure. You were on another or back in the day, '94. You were on the West Coast Bad Boys with our.
Yeah.
That was the one that was done with Tobin, our buddy, and the late Tobin. Dude, tell us about that story and how you ended up on that album.
Master P's, West Coast Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, so what happened is we had a distribution company when I did my first album, strictly for the G's. And St. Charles, who used to distribution, we used to go through him. That's E40's uncle. He did a lot of distribution for a lot of Bay Area artists, and I was one of them at the time. So we went up to the distribution that was in Fairfield. I think it was in Fairfield, California. And one day, and I had a manager at the time that was kind of shadow managing me, Big V. Shout out to Big V. We went up there. I think to drop off some more CDs and tapes because I sold some or whatnot, or do something like that of that nature. And Big V told me, he said, "Hey, you want to get down on this record? Master P is wrapping up. He's doing one last song. It's already basically finished. He got room for another artist. You from Richmond, so you should be able to get on there." At the time, so I didn't see Master P. They actually went. I like to tell my story in very good in detail. So they went to Nations. That's a burger spot, right? Out that way in Fairfield. So it was Master P, Silk, King George, and I think it was C Murder was with them, but I'm not for sure if it was C Murder. I can't remember if it was C Murder, but I know it was like 3 or 4 of them. They went to go to Nations. I recorded my verse. They came back and they said, "Hey, Mr. P, he heard it. And he was like, oh, dope. We're going to put it out." That's when he told me that was just the last record. He said, "We're going to put this out." He said, "I got one artist that needs to finish it right after you. His name is Kilo. That's from San Francisco." So that's how it happened. I did my verse and then Kilo came and finished the song. And that was the last record for the West Coast Bad Boys. So it's one of those things where you right time, right place, right. You come in and then something is going on and then you get part of it. So it wasn't planned. I just went to the place and then they just put me on there. And that's how I got on that record.
You're tuning into I Only Touch Greatness podcast, Vancouver's best show with Ryan Hayes.
Often imitated but never duplicated, I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes.
Looking for the most beers on tap?
Great steaks, great staff. Head over to the John B.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Say Hayes sent you.